Hi everyone, Namaste. Me, Rupak Nepali. In this video, we show you how to develop the custom page in OpenCart tray. We are developing a custom page which will list out all the categories, top level categories with subcategories of top level. Here we will start with basic hello world type of custom page and then show you how to pull data from the database, create logics in controller, and show all the categories in the view Twig template. Before you start, please check these two videos. One is related with the MVCL pattern code flow request and response in OpenCart defined, which will define these flow diagrams, how user request the controller and how controller interact with the model file, language file, and transfer the data to the views. Then views give the response output to the user. So go through these two videos, and another is the OpenCart library predefined object methods. So most of the objects I have shown the examples in this video. Now let's get started. So to create a custom page, we at least need two files, a controller files and a template files. So controller files where we put the logics and in template file we output the data. Optional files are as per requirements, model file and language files. Uh, it's better to make the language file as required, as well as uh, because it helps on translation of the pages. Now, files and folder structure of the custom page. So if we are creating the custom page for the front end, then we need to create controller file, language file, model files, and template files. So we are creating for the similar to the product section. So we are putting all of our files into the product folder. So in controller products, and we are creating like a categories list.php, which is our controller file, and our language file, which is like language, engb, product, and category list.php. So if you have different other language, then other language, product, and category list.php. Similarly for modules, we just use modules catalog and categories.php. And for views, view, theme, default, template, product, and category list.php. If you are using different theme, better to keep in the default, because when you upgrade your when you change your theme, then after changing the theme, it may not find this categories list at Twig, so may give the fatal error. So for safe, better to put it into the default 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 theme. So like this, with these are the four files and folder structure for our custom page. Now let's start our development. So I already installed my OpenCart, and which is running in opencart.log. Let's get started. Now go to the controller. As per our PowerPoint, it is in catalog, controller, product. So if you want to create another folder, you can create another folder and put inside that, or if you want to put in other folder, you can put, but it is related with the product, so we are creating the categories list here. So let's create a file. Categories list.php. Now let's start creating the class. So to create the class, I have to create the controller class. The controller class name need to follow the folder structure. So here our class will be controller catalog categories list, because it is like controller product and categories list, which is the file. So it should follow the folder structure. And controller catalog categories list class inherits the methods and properties of base controller class by using the keyword extends in the class declaration. And so let's create our class name. So PHP class controller product categories list, which extends controller product categories list. Now better to use with the index method, as this is called when the route is called. So let's make an index method, which is public function index. Let's echo this is index from index method call from controller product categories. So with this we can go to the index.php route equals to product and categories list. So this is our URL to target to that controller. So you can see that index method call from the CPC. If you want to call another method, like let's say public function add, then you can call, let's say this is add method call from CV cost product. So to call that another method, we just pass that method name here. So this is add method call from CPC. Like this way you can use the you create the URL, you create the files, and files and folder structures are used to create the route. Let's remove this and start working on the index. Now for our categories list, we need some language file. So for that, let's go to the language English ENGB product. You can create the folder if you don't have. cutgras categories list.php, and we need some text and variables. So I have prepared this text and variables. So one is title, which says all categories, and our meta title also says all categories, similar to meta description, meta keyword, and categories text. Now let's load that category language in here in the controller. So for that we use this load language and the folder name and the file name. With this we can we can get all of its variable in here as well as in the view file. So let's create the view file now. Let's go to the view, theme, default, template, product, and create a Twig file here, which is categories list.twig. So for that we need to output, we need to response set output, which is this response set output, and this load view, which will load that Twig templates, and this is the folder and this is the file. Now let's show this category text, which is in the language file in the category Twig. So let's refresh. The add method is already removed. So undefined variable, this is the categories list, undefined variable data. So I pass the data here. So let's assign this to an empty array, just for our test. So this is the category list page 2, which is shown from the language file. This is the category list page 2. So how to pass this data from here to the Twig template? So this is the variable that is passed from controller to the Twig. Let's say $data let's say text from controller, and say this is text from controller. Now let's output this in the Twig template. Let's go here, refresh. Now you will see this is text from controller. So this is how data are passed from controller to the Twig template. So like this way you can create a logics, assign value to the data array, and with this it is passed into the Twig template, and here you can just show it and make a design here. Now let's output the header, footer, and other section. So for that it's normal, like column left, this load controller, and whichever the controller is, so which is like common column left, which is at catalog controller common, so which is column left. So this controller is called and all of its data are called, and it is assigned to this column left, and we assign this column left into here. So let's do that. I have this header, footer, column left, column right. Let's put this into the container. And content top and content bottom and footer. Now let's go here and reload. So all of it's a header, footer, and if you have the content left, content right, content top, content bottom will be shown here. Now let's start playing with the documents. So OpenCart is SEO friendly. So for that they have defined the documents, which is document this, document set title, and whatever you pass the value of the meta title language, which is meta title is all categories. Let's make it little difference. Meta title, meta description, meta keyword. Although keyword is not used nowadays, but OpenCart provides data as well. Now with this, the title is set to that meta title, which is in the language, and set description is set to the meta description, which is in also in the language, and meta keyword. So this is how you take data from language to the controller and process here and send it to the documents or send it to the templates. Let's save and let's go and refresh here. So you will see all categories. Meta title is shown here. So similarly, I think description. So title is on meta title, and description is all categories. Meta description and keywords, all categories meta keywords. So like this way, you can set the title, category, title, description, and keywords for the documentation for the document. Like this way, you can set the title, description, and keywords for the document. Now, as you can see, every pages has this breadcrumb. So let's set up the breadcrumbs here as well. So for that, we assign a breadcrumbs to a so let me remove this. We assign a empty breadcrumbs, and we assign a text which is text home. So this text home is not in here in the language file, but you will be surprised where it is coming from. So these are you whatever whatever mm, variables are in this page, we can directly call, and these are like a global language that we can get in all of our controller. So this text home is the one that we are directly using in here, and the URL link we OpenCart provides this global global objects of URLs, and it has a method a link, and once we pass the common home, then it sends to the home page. Like, and another one for the breadcrumb is the title, which is this title of title. Then URL is like the product category list, which we send to that list. Now let's output this breadcrumb in the Twig template. So for that, get a container, let's do a for each. with the for loop, we get that breadcrumbs and assign to the breadcrumbs and breadcrumb dot ref and breadcrumb dot text and ref. So let's refresh here. So you will get this breadcrumbs. Now let's start pulling the categories. For that, let's define data categories and empty array. Then we need to call the database. So to call the database, we use this load model, and whichever file you want to call from the model, then we pass that here. So right now, model catalog categories. So right now we have these get categories, which pulls the top level categories if we pass the 0, and it's child categories when you pass that categories IDs. So we don't need to create the model file here, because it all this this method is already here, which gives us all the categories list. So first we load that file, then we write something like this model and catalog and categories. This model underscore catalog underscore categories. This is the catalog and categories. Then we call that method, which is get categories, and let's pass 0 here because we want all top level categories, and let's assign this into a result. Now let's do the var dump $result, not results. Let's see what we get. So we get all of the categories and top level categories. Let's do, I haven't set up like the xdebug, so I have to do like this, all of these, but it's better to set up the xdebug. So here you see 0, category ID, 20, image, the path of the image, and top column, let's do print underscore r. So 0, category ID 20, and the image URL, and date modified, description, meta title, meta description, name. So these are the values it gives us. Now let's do the for each for it. So why we are doing for each is we just need name, image, and the link. So we don't need a lot of things that it is providing. So we are just doing for each and passing only the needed value to the Twig template. So let's do results. The results as $result. Now as there are like multiple categories, so we are defining a multi-dimensional arrays for the categories. and passing the array. So let's say name name of the categories, which is inside dollar result name and image. So for image, we need to resize the image and generate the URL. So OpenCart has a resize methods that is provided. So for that, we first need to load the tool under tool slash image. Then we can uh, get the resize methods to resize the image. Most of our categories will not have the images, so let's check if it has the images. Then dollar result image. If it has image, then we resize that image with this model tool image resize, and it will get three values, which is one is file, which is dollar result image, and height, width and height. So let's make 150 150 and assign this to image. Then we assign that image here, dollar image. So else if there is no image, then we assign a placeholder. Image equals to dollar this model underscore tool underscore image resize placeholder dot png 150 150. So this resize method is at model tool image. So it has the resize method which takes the file name, width and height. So we are using that resize method from there. And this placeholder is available in our image, which is the placeholder. Now another is we need to pass the URL as well. So for that we just say herb and so we need to pass the category URL. So for that, this URL link, and as we need to pass the link to the category page, so which is product slash category, and need to pass the path equals to dollar result category ID GORI category ID. So like this way we can pass all of our data, all of our categories into this data categories, and we can get into the Twig template. So let's go refresh. Till now we didn't pass anything, so let's do the Twig work here. So for that, this for time saving, I just copy pasting the code. We are assigning this into column 12 and using the for. This is the categories that we get from the controller, and we are doing the for, and this is in the Twig, so it's like little opposite, and the link is category.herb, and the image is category image and category name, and same here, category name and herb, and this class is for responsiveness, and this category name is for SEO purpose. So let's refresh it. Then now you will see all of these images and link. It looks like link is not working. So let's go and check why that link is not working. Yes, ref here. Looks like we misspelled the now link is also working. Now like this way you can create the custom pages in OpenCart. Here you can go through some of my blog posts which I describes like how I created all of these, and like categories list, and you sometimes you may get a class not found, so for that you have to clear the cache from the backend, and I have provided we have a blog post which helps you directly clear the cache for the development purpose, and there is a Twig there is a way to enable the Twig debug extensions. So I have explained those things in my blog post. So like this way, I hope you can create custom page, and in this blog post, which is like the part 2, here we have like we show like the subcategories as well, so you can check this, and I have given most of the details here, what we have done, and this section is replaced by this code, so these are defined in this blog post, and you can download the you can see the demo here, which is our free themes. We provide a free themes also, where you can download you can easily download in our websites, and this is the modules to show the all categories. You can download our free theme from here, which is like for OpenCart 3, and you can download this theme, and you can use this theme as well. So we have like a category listing page, and we have used like multiple modules. Let's go, and or you can follow my GitHub, where you can get all of these video tutorials and all of here what need to learn for creating all of these themes and documentations. And we have used this multiple featured categories modules, so full with OpenCart modules, OpenCart new sticker modules, and OpenCart feature categories module. So like this way you can keep on suggesting us if you have any kind of video request or needed any help on the OpenCart. So these are done. So just to go through these data flows, how request and response are handled in the OpenCart. So like this way you can keep create the custom page in OpenCart. So you can email us if you have any kind of requirements or suggestions at webocreation.com at gmail.com, and you can follow me at Rupak GyanPL in the Twitter, and in our YouTube channel is Online Gyan Nepal. Similarly, our websites. Thank you. Keep on suggesting. Happy learning. Bye.